Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Bekah Jo, aka the Makeup Tax Lady. Today is a much needed, for me, playing with makeup session. In today's video, we go through the entire look, but the focus, if you can't tell, is on the eyeshadow. I wanted to do a sunset inspired eyeshadow look, and what better palettes, these are brand new to my collection, what better palettes to do a sunset look with than to combine the Violet Crazy and the Sunset Symphony palettes from Kryptein Cosmetics. I feel all dolled up and I love it. I've been wanting to wear lashes lately, but just haven't had the playing with makeup excuse to do so. Between that and the level of sparkle and shift and goodness on my lids, and then I feel like the cheeks and the lips balance everything out really well. I could go punchier on the blush, but I like it. I'm content with it. But yeah, this was so fun, so much needed. I've got a splash of some of my favorite highlighter on my cheeks, so let's just, have fun with some makeup today. All right, I am excited to just dig into and play with my makeup today. I just purchased from Mercari it's a small size of the Say Glowy Super Gel in Rose Glow. So I'm getting to know it. I have very mixed thoughts, but overall, I do like the way that it looks on my skin, I think. It's moisturizing, but not like too moisturizing. And once I have other products on top of it, it doesn't like do too much to the skin. So it's just a nice moisturizing layer. Next, I want to go in with my iconic London Super Smoother Blurring Skin Tint. Just gonna add this to my face. Today's video is not about the base makeup, it's really about the eyes. So we are just playing with whatever is around. I have not been wearing a concealer in addition to a skin tint lately, but let's go in with Iris and Romeo Best Skin Days Treatment Concealer. This is in the shade 2. Gonna add this under my eyes, also down my nose and on any spots that I have. I'm going to use my fan to help dry everything. There is just something so comforting about a little beauty fan. I just got that one a couple months ago and I did not think that I would appreciate it. So I'd seen them around for a while, hadn't bought one, picked that one up, and I love it. I don't like use it every day, but it definitely comes in handy. Today is one of those days where the makeup is like sitting on my nose and not meshing with my nose, but I am going to move on with my life. I'm gonna go in do my brows with my Sydney Grace Matte For You brow palette. This is the blonde palette, and my half-caked brow gel in clear. This is starting to get low. And I have my Sydney Grace brow gel ready to go when this one runs out. I'm gonna go into my Sydney Grace cream bronzer in the shade Cinnamon Roll, and we'll use this to bronze up the face. I want to go ahead and set the face. I'm going to use my RCMA No Color Powder to do so. And then I think we're ready to get into eyes. Okay, my base is set. I went in with my About Face eyeshadow primer on my lids and added just a little bit of Trisha Sydney Grace Lip Topper for some moisture while we move on to the next phase. So let's get into the eyes. I am feeling really inspired right now with lots of different looks. So things my videos may not be super cohesive in any given direction, but when is it ever? Today, I want to use the combination of my Kryptein Cosmetics palettes. I just picked these up. You can check out my most recent video, but I have the Violet Crazy palette and the Sunset Symphony palette. You will see that while these are two very different color stories, I think they are fun to pair together. And I really want to do a sunset eye. It's been a hot minute since I've done one. So I know that I want to dip into the oranges and the purples. We may incorporate this fun bright pink, but let's get started. I am going to start with this Moda BMX 466 Moda Pro shader brush and dip into Surfboard here from Sunset Symphony. And we're going to add this to the crease. Now with Moda Pro BMX 420, I'm going to dip into Midnight, the deeper purple matte. We'll use this to deepen up the outer corner of my lids. With my Refer 13, I'm going to dip into Fated, which is the lighter purple matte from Violet Crazy. I'm going to use this to blend out just a little bit more. Okay, I wiped off that brush, and now I'm going in with Parasol, which is the nice bright yellow matte from Sunset Symphony, and I'm going to use this to kind of blend out the more orangey matte that we used previously, just a touch. With my Sierra Martin 3D4 brush, we're going to dip into Midnight, again that deeper purple matte from Violet Crazy. Add this to the lower lash line, focusing it on the outer half. And with the lighter purple matte and a fluffier brush, I'm going under to just kind of smudge out that purple a bit more. Back to my more pointed brush, I'm going into Symphony, which is this beautiful bright corally pink shade from Sunset Symphony. Add this to the inner portion of the lower lash line and blending it out into that purple. A clean fluffy brush, just kind of blending anywhere and everywhere. No additional product. Same more pointed brush. I'm going to use Golden Hour from Sunset Symphony on the lower lash line. I'm going to pack my brush, and then I'm going to spray the product on my brush. Give that a second to settle. And then we will pack, and I'm probably going to put it on like the entire lower lash because it's really pretty. Okay, I have a game plan for these shimmers, but I want to use a glitter glue. So let me walk you through what I'm gonna do so that I can start it all on one eye and not have to talk through it. On the outer portion of my eye, I'm going to dip into Violet Crazy from Violet Crazy. Then I think I'm gonna add a splash of Afterglow kind of right in the center and this gorgeous shimmer halo on the inner portion of my lid. And then I very possibly will dip into Skyline for the inner corner of my eyes, but there won't be glitter glue there, so we'll come back to do that one. Going to do the same combination on the other eye, and then we'll come back and like blend out the edge of the shimmers and do some more final touches. Okay, going in with a little fluffy brush, I'm just gonna kind of blend the edges of that shimmer. Oh my gosh, the shimmers on my lid are incredible right now. These are incredible. And I could significantly tell a difference between when I went in with a brush on the inner color on that eye versus just my finger on this eye. And I definitely get more wow, pizzazz and wow. That's what that was, with the finger application. I mean, that, I hope you can see the foil, the sparkle. I know I said maybe Skyline from Sunset Symphony for the inner corner, but I'm actually gonna dip into Fallen Star instead with this itty bitty brush. It has a slightly, I said this when I swatched it on camera in that video, but it has like a slight little green to it. It's really cool. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera, go fix up some of my fallout, put on mascara, and then we'll come back to do blush and lips. Okay, welcome back. The eye look was dramatic enough to require lashes. So the lashes that I'm wearing are Kiss Look So Natural in the style Shy. I also have just a splash of my Sigma Sinuosity Lash mascara and my LA Girl Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Liner in Perpetual Purple on my lower waterline. I am thinking for cheeks, I want to add a powder bronzer. So I think I want to use the blushes in Whispering Woods. So let's go ahead and use Shadow Root as our bronzer. It's a deeper, you can use it as a brownie blush or as, I'm going to try it as a bronzer. So let me find a fluffy brush. Picked up my Rephr 04 brush. I'm gonna dip a couple times into the pan and then bounce off the mirror to make sure that that product is dispersed. Okay, that's good. Good level of pigmentation. I wiped off that brush. Now I want to go into Cedar Rose, which is this, it's a powder blush, and it's such a pretty, not quite terracotta, but a little bit deeper than a peach. It's a really pretty neutral blush shade, which we know that I have not been into neutral blush shades lately, but I think now that we are kind of approaching fall, I'm gonna get more use out of this palette in this shade. One of my favorite highlighters in the late summer, all of summer, but especially the late summer and fall, is Sydney Grace loose highlighter in Candied Peach. I don't believe that they sell their loose highlighters anymore, which is kind of a shame, but you get so much product in these. This is going to last me my lifetime. Taking my Real Techniques brush and kind of want to push the product into the brush a little bit, and then we're going to buff it onto the cheek. We're going ham with the highlighter because we are playing with makeup and we might as well, you know? Okay, I'm working through what I want for lips as we go, but I'm gonna start with this Clinique lip liner in the shade Bamboo. I don't know where I found this. It was probably TJ Maxx or Marshalls. This shade, I love this so much. I bought this a few years ago, but it's such a pretty shade on me, and I don't know if it's a shade that you can buy like in Ulta or department store or online or any of that. So if you've ever seen it, just give me a shout out in the comments, please. Okay, next I want to go in with my MAC lipstick. This is their Luster Glass formula in the shade Sellout. It's a pretty nudie peachy shade. I'm gonna add this. I do have some of that gloss from before still on. That is a really excellent lip combo for me. I really like that. I've been doing a little bit minor lip color combination experimentation off camera entirely, and I feel like a lot of the combinations I've had have been losers, and so I really like this combination. I think it's a little bit more than a nude lip, and I like it. Let me know what you think. Okay, here we are. Here is the final look for today. This was such a fun playing with makeup session, and I'm feeling really inspired, and we'll probably be having more of these playing with makeup sessions as I can make them happen. They may not have a theme to them, but if you have thoughts and suggestions, please shout them out. I have a 4 looks, 4 palettes with the Ensley Rain 6-pan palettes that was recommended to me that I am ruminating on. I'm planning to make that, so that one's in the works, have no fear. But in the meantime, like I said in my most recent video, if there's any palettes out there or any looks, or maybe we're just like needing inspiration, I am feeling inspired. I had so much fun today. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Please let me know if you were doing your makeup while watching this, or maybe you were doing something else, folding laundry, whatever that may be. But I would love to know what it is that you've been up to. If you liked the video, I ask that you give the video a like. And if you are new to my channel, I'd love it if you'd consider becoming a subscriber. Thank you once again so much for joining me for today's video, and I hope to see you in the next one.